Hey everyone, and welcome back. We finally have a weekend where it is not raining and cold. It's going to be almost 90 today, partly cloudy, overcast. I will take it because I have so much to still do. The kids are out here right now entertaining themselves while I just wrapped up stocking my flower stand. But I have so much to do, and one thing that is a must is I need to start netting my dahlias. I need to start netting my Lisianthus and my Zinnias because everything's really starting to jumpstart and kick up and ramp up and get tall because it's starting to warm up, and I have been delaying this for forever. My dahlia beds were actually supposed to have those in before I filled them with dirt and dahlias, but I just was running so behind, and now I'm totally regretting it because I need to get them netted. Some of them, with the winds that we've been having lately, the 40-mile-per-hour gust last weekend, some of them started to bend and topple over, so I need to straighten them out. So hey, if you're new here, by the way, my name is Christy. I'm located in Western Massachusetts, Zone 6A, and I am heading into my second year selling flowers at my roadside flower stand, and I am trying to show you and take you on my journey. I have had no experience growing flowers before. I have grown vegetables for about 3 or 4 years now. And I'm really hitting it hard with the flowers this year, hoping that I can make larger bouquets and have more product out there for my customers. I sell everything at my roadside flower stand. I am starting to sign up for vendor events, and I actually have 2 events that I am doing arrangements for. I just did a graduation party for today, and then I have a baby shower later on this month. So I've been busy. The word has been getting out, which is great, but I need to make sure I take care of things now before I run into, I'm just super busy harvesting and getting everything ready for events or for my flower stand. I do work full-time as a pre-K teacher, so I do everything at night, and on the weekends is when I get the most of my work done. A lot of it's also during nap time. So we have a lot to do. So I'm going to get everything netted as much as I can today. I'm going to start here and then over in the Zinnias because that is where I have shade now. And then I'm going to move over to my Lisianthus later on this afternoon once this area is in the shade because I just don't like being out in this hot sun. So I'm going to show you what we will be using, and we're going to get started. So we're going to start with my dahlia beds, and for these, I purchased these 1 by 1 inch wooden posts. I am going to fasten them to every single corner. I got to be a little bit careful because I did use L brackets to hold my pressure treated wood together, so I'm going to just have to make sure that I don't hit those metal brackets. And I'm just going to dig out the corners of every one, get them in with a nice screw, and then they should be good so I can lay out my netting, and then we should be good to go. I'm not quite sure if I want to double layer the netting. I'm probably just going to do a single layer now. I did that last year, but then they started to get super tall, and they probably could have been double layered with the netting. However, I do have a huge 50-foot row of zinnias that I need to get netted. So if anything, I'll just have to order more and then come back in here later on. Some of my cafe au laits are actually pretty tall over here, so it's going to be interesting seeing how I get that netting on. Again, super behind on this. And then for all of my other areas, I have for my zinnias, I have 4 T-posts that I will be using, and then I will be using like the 5-foot tomato stakes that you can purchase in bulk on Amazon to just work my way down the row and just have the ends with the T-post. So I'm going to get started with this. My plan is to try and get all of this up before lunch. So we'll see if that happens or not. So let's get to it. So now I have all of my netting on. It's finally nap time. That's when I usually get most of my work done. And then hopefully I can do another project before the day has ended. But I have all of my netting on, but as you can see, hopefully, it's still a little bit too loose. It's not nice and taut, and I have just too much wiggle room, so I'm going to do two things to help out. I did order a pack of these. I don't know if they're 3 or 4 foot tomato stakes. I absolutely love these. I get them off of Amazon. I'll make sure I link them below. I have these, and then I do use the taller ones as well to do like my snapdragons or maybe some in the bed. And then I do have a handful of zip ties that I will use on the corners just to make it a little bit tighter. I can't find all of them. This is all I could find, so I'm only going to be able to do probably like 2 beds or so, and then I'll find the rest of my zip ties and get back to that later. And then I'm going to use these same exact ones. I'm assuming these are 3 foot if I had to guess, also to help stake my Lisianthus. Since the wind's really bad, I had some Lisianthus plugs last year and they were just so droopy and just moved all over, and then they would droop, and then the rain would come and the petals would be all brown from the dirt. So I am also going to make sure that I net those as well. So we are going to work on the dahlias, and then we're going to head on over to my Lisianthus. And when we get there, no judgment, because I have not weeded in weeks. That is going to be next weekend's project, and hopefully finally getting my tomatoes and peppers in. So let's see if we can get the netting done, and then I'll show you what it looks like afterwards where my Lisianthus are. So we are going to work on this dahlia bed right behind me. I am going to use these 3 foot tomato stakes, and I'm going to put them just down the middle, and I'm going to hopefully just have it so it's going to be nice and stretched out. It's only 3 feet wide, but I still want to make sure that it's nice and stretched out. And then I will take the zip ties and just pull them a little bit. I maybe will get away with just doing one end and not both of them. That way, hopefully it's going to be a little bit better, and that way the netting will be moving all the way around. So I'm gonna get these done first. And this I can always change if I need to, but I'm gonna come in and pull it over. Same thing over here. Come in, and I can probably get it 2 more. This is so droopy. 2 more squares, because these are 4 foot wide Corvinota netting. So I am going to not need all of that. So I'm going to just make it so it's a little bit more stretched over and held up. And then if I can, I'm going to help guide maybe a few of these dahlias into the correct square once we get there. So there we go. All right, so that's already looking better this way. And then maybe can tighten it a little bit more. I also need to go and get my mallet just so I can get those into the actual ground and not just into the loose soil that I added into these raised garden beds. So I'm going to get that, and I'm going to pound them in. So I will be right back. And we are done with the dahlias. I'm so excited because the sun's starting to peek out, which means I'm going to head on over to the shade. I have 3 Lisianthus beds that I need to also get some netting on. It should be pretty quick. These are also going to be 6 by 3 foot beds, and my netting is for 4 feet. This is leftover netting from when I had my tilled beds out over on the other side. And I'm pretty sure I ordered some more 4 foot ones. So I figured I can just cut off anything that's a little bit extra, but I'm just going to let it hang off. So I still have this netting from last year, which is really great because it's going a long way. I even already did my stock. So we're going to head on over to Lisianthus, and then we're going to wrap this up. All right, I have these 3 beds behind me that we need to do. They need to be weeded so bad. So I already know that. So I will get to that hopefully next weekend or tomorrow. I don't know. I always keep putting it off, but I really need to weed so bad. Anyways, I do have some chives growing that came back up from last year, and I have so many tomato seedlings popping up, some volunteers, because these used to be all of my tomato beds, especially these ones in the back. Those were like my sweet 100s, my sun golds. I had yellow pear, some little like micro spoon ones too. So I have little baby tomato plants coming up. And there is this wasp that is over there, and I'm just trying to give it some space, so hopefully it will leave me alone. So we are gonna start with this bed right behind me. I have this bar up right here because I was using shade cloth on my ranunculus, but those are dying back right now, so I'm hoping my next project is to dig them up. Some of them, I have one bed that's completely died back, so I'm going to dig all those up. The one right here is about halfway done. And then my other bed and a half or so, I'm gonna just dig it up with some soil, and I'm gonna top these beds off again. And we are gonna get all of my zinnias in here, and then whatever else doesn't fit, those are gonna go up front. So also with my campanula too, that's going to be ending. So hopefully I can fit some celosia over there. I'm just trying to rotate beds as best as I can. But anyway, since I get sidetracked so easily, I am going to put just 3 stakes. We're just going to reuse this one so I can have this again for ranunculus. I plan on having ranunculus in here because it stays away from the bunnies that are kind of nibbling on some of my snapdragons still over there. And then we're going to get the netting up. So hopefully this should be super quick because I can just push them in. These are 18-inch high beds made out of cedar pickets. And I really wish I knew I was going to get into flowers one day, because I probably would have just done some pressure treated wood, because they're starting to get a little bit warped. But other than that, they're holding up pretty good. And I can always just go back and do pressure treated wood in the future. So we're going to get these 3 beds done, and then we're going to call it quits. I won't have time to do the zinnias because I need my husband to do the T-post. So I'm just going to do that maybe tonight. And then if I do, I'll film it. If not, I'll just do that another weekend. Because I cannot get a T-post in for the life of me. So, and then hopefully we'll be done for the day with this project. And I have all of my netting up that I'm going to have time for today, because I really need to move on to these ranunculus and clear up some beds. But we have our dahlias ready. I already have my stalk netted. That is actually starting to bloom right now, which I'm super excited about. And now we have our lizzies as well, snapdragon. So next up is just going to be all of my zinnias. So I would say I am doing pretty darn well, given the fact that I only have the weekends to do it, and it's been raining about every weekend for the past 2 or 3 weekends. So if you would like to stay updated and see how everything is going in my 2nd year selling flowers at my roadside flower stand, please make sure you hit like and subscribe and hit that bell button, and I will see you all next time. Happy gardening. Bye.